So, a friend from the US is visiting me right now. And in the past 24 hours, we've squeezed in all the tourist things to do from monuments, cafes, walks, and bike rides. But then, unexpectedly, just today, I was told to meet my friend after his splurge at POP MART to buy a bag full of Labubus. I was then told to hit the record button on his phone. I watched in wonder as his excitement grew with each color that popped out. Perhaps it's me being in a different country, or maybe my age creeping in, but it did allow me to watch in amazement and curiosity. When he unboxed the last one, I asked the inevitable question. So, what happens now? He smiled and he clipped the Labubu to his bag and said, "They make me happy." And honestly, that's enough of an answer for me. And I thought to myself, of course, I wish I had created Labubu. Imagine you make something that gives joy to thousands, maybe even millions around the world, with a simple, playful incentive. So I wondered again, what is this incentive? And as I poked around, I found some things. First, it's emotional projection. Labubu, which is wide eyed, odd proportions, a mischievous grin, is part cute, part creepy, part familiar. And it invites an inner mirror into the buyer to see the playful one within, the anxious one within, or even the outsider. What I think it says is, I'm weird, and that's okay. Second, storytelling plus ritual. There's an origin mythology based into the toy, from hand drawn roots. There's limited drops, the unboxing suspense. Owning one feels like joining a secret art circle. Add in community and validation, there's scarcity, surprise, artist collabs, and then, of course, FOMO, or the fear of missing out. This all creates a dopamine loop and a ritual. These blind boxes feel a little like gambling, and we've seen proof of this too. A life size Labubu recently sold at auction, forget this, $150,000. Yes, really. Labubu sits in a lineage too, with Beanie Babies, Pokemon cards, Tamagotchi, all emotional art collectibles. Belief turned liquid. And that's the bridge that we're making, or I'm gonna make. Collectibles to crypto. The same human engine behind them all. People don't always wait for proofs. They fund stories. Labubu fans believe in a character. Meme coin buyers believe in a narrative. And Bitcoin believers trust in math and time. All three of these mirror human emotions: trust, hope, and belonging. And in crypto, if the rails are real, adoption looks boring before it looks obvious. Compliance first, clickbait later. Bitcoin today feels more and more like a safe gamble. Belief hardened into structure. It started with a peer to peer transfer of money idea, and it has shifted into a store of value or digital gold. But new tokens, the foundation is storytelling. Sometimes the story is all that holds things together. There's nothing else. Meme coins can look sleek, overnight websites, utility promises, pre-sales open for 24 hours or some limited time, influencers shouting 100x returns. There's a limited window, hidden truth, emotional packaging, but behind the facade, missing developer names, no audit schedule, thin real liquidity, or very limited resources to even begin to check. Yet, they are marketed beautifully. There's a fantasy of being early. And that's why I dig back into XRP, to see if the connections are real or just hype. Holding a bag without dopamine is hard, but I can admit there have been some dopamine hits. Case endings, possible ETF approvals, market analysis predictions. With all of this, the entire point that I'm making is to know what I actually hold. And these feelings are a lot different than risking it all on a colorful website and ticker. What we are doing is being early to a structure, not a billboard. So where does XRP fit within this narrative? Because I'm not here for just the dopamine hit. I'm shifting my perception to be about the plumbing. And this is a huge change from every single chapter of my life previously. Back in 2019, Brad Garlinghouse told Fortune banks that they could flip the switch when they're ready. This wasn't a price lever. It was a migration decision when compliance, liquidity, and operations align. Today, those pieces are more and more tangible. The Africa corridors with On Afrique or Chipper Cash, plus RLUSD, which lets fiat money move now while banks finish checks. RLUSD Ripple stablecoin launched in December 2024. And since that launch, its market cap now sits around $740 million. This is a huge growth. Just recently when I looked, the market cap set around $500 million. And there are multiple sources that could check this. This adoption adds utility and liquidity into Ripple's ecosystem. Eventually, XRP can move at scale. Money anywhere, instantaneously, for fractions of a penny, with any currency at any time. So if we know all this, why is XRP still sitting around $3 a token? While Binance, Solana, and others continue to capture attention. I think it's because institutions run on policy clocks, not crypto Twitter clocks. And BNB and Solana also host meme projects allowing millions of people to get their dopamine hits. All this while the policy clock is still ticking. MiCA regulations give crypto firms using older national frameworks a grandfather window to transition to a new system until July 1st, 2026. In the US, big bills like the Clarity Act are not law yet. Some major players are pushing back. Regulators are still refining rules. And all this while the US has had federal shutdowns and delays. Risk teams won't buy off exchanges until laws are signed, regulations are stamped, and clarity exists. They wait. Then they flip their switch. Some days, I wonder whether these integrations will fully check out or be realized. But then I take a breath and look around. With the momentum within MiCA regulations, Clarity Act talk, possible spot ETF approvals, It's as real as regulatory machines get. And looks like my time to be on the design and creative team for Labubu has actually passed. But maybe, just maybe, I can help build the rails to something that lets others find joy in the narrative. Thanks so much for joining me in another deep dive. None of this is financial advice, just curious exploration into this new world. Thank you for checking out Layer 1 by James Harris. Please like, subscribe, ask questions. Where do we go next? Even pass it on to a friend that might be curious about this entire industry. Until tomorrow, see you later. Have a good evening. Bye.